sure to subscribe so you can get the notifications. You never know what we're going to be talking about here. It could be just about anything. But welcome if you're new. If you are not new, welcome to my lovelies. And anybody that does come in chat new, make them feel welcome so they'll join our little family as well. We can all share information. If you do not want to be a part of the hello, how are yous, I suggest you fast forward to about the 10-minute mark and we'll get into the topic. Carrying on. Hello, Miss CJ Blaze. How are you? I was doing my little intro for the replay thing. Oh my goodness. I have been nonstop today, man. I don't even know if I've got my stuff together right. I need a printer. Shannon, hey, how are you, girlfriend? It's good to see you. Oh, I did have myself in order, and then I got myself out of order. But I need a printer so I can print stuff off and doing good. It's Friday and not raining. Absolutely. Oh, honey, bless your heart. I hate that you have to work 2 jobs. Well, maybe we can get you growing. And Moonface 5, so glad you're here. I'm doing this live just for you, girl. And I've got to be real careful. Hey, worker crew. Just was texting you, David. I'm glad you liked that movie. I got to take Ethan to see it. Where they saw Lilo and Stitch today. Well, you're just very welcome. I didn't have anything else on my mind. It's been a tough week. Tomorrow marks the 1-year anniversary of my baby going to heaven, so that was about as good and racy of a topic as any. TV test pattern. How are you? Gosh, you've got your monkey and fart. I don't think it's in your title now. It wasn't the first time, then it was, and now I don't think it is. That's okay. And just same as next week, I meant to talk to you all. Unless somebody just gets ugly, let's just let it roll, see what happens. But anyway, welcome to everybody. I keep shaking this table. It's on carpet. And I keep forgetting that I cannot see chat. Chat don't roll on this phone. But I don't want to get off of my notes here. You've been looking forward to this live all week? Well, bless your heart. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. I've had a hard week. And I thought I'd rather be with my friends than be sitting and being in misery. Because I know where my baby is. Yes, if somebody would drop Miss Shannon's channel, I would appreciate it. I don't think anybody's there but CJ. I don't know where Trucker is. I can't text him now. I'm on this phone. 5 people here. 3 thumbs up. Y'all see my shorts? My commercials? I didn't want to. Oh, good. Good. There you go, Shannon. Oh, that's right. David's there. I'm so crazy. Look at me. I didn't even look at myself. I've been running. It's been windy. TJ snuggles that sweet baby girl for me. Yep. Yeah, Shannon, I've got excellent mods. And CJ has been with me since probably my first live. CJ, you weren't the first mod because I modded the troll first. I saw that where you had corrected me. CJ's the first mod. No, I modded the troll first. And then after being gone for 2 years or whatever it was, I come back in and modded the troll again. So I didn't learn my lesson. Oh my gosh. But at least the second mod wasn't, or troll mod wasn't nearly as bad as the first troll mod. That was my first live. I actually went live by accident. I was just playing around trying to figure out YouTube. Next thing I knew, I was live. Oh, you saw the second one too? God almighty. I didn't remember you were there. Yeah, it is sad but funny. You know, what can you say? I'm not sure the scriptures I'm going to read are actually really pertaining to that much about the topic, but it was just scriptures that I thought I needed to mention. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, we've only got 4 minutes left. Boy, that 10 minutes slides by fine, don't it? What did I just say? What just came out of my mouth? Listen, y'all, my brain, y'all work with me tonight because my brain has been out to lunch. That 10 minutes slides by fast. I hope I can get through this live. Occam's razor. Hi there. How are you, darling? Gosh. Oh, Lord have mercy. And I still have my flag covered up. I don't know. I'm all the way over against the wall, y'all. Unless I lean against the wall and then it hurts my back. I can't. Should have moved it over, but I didn't have the table up when, I was center it between my nightstand. And I keep forgetting to mention, now as they're dead and dying, that's my favorite rose, yellow roses that Ethan got me for Mother's Day. So, oh, and these kids out here are hoodlums, y'all. God love them. I prayed for one right on the playground in front of everybody and told him he had a demon. Craziest, creepiest laugh. He was cussing those little kids and saying nasty stuff. And I was just going to talk to him, and he just kept, turning, going in circles and wouldn't let me talk to him. And then I said, honey, I just want to talk to you. Please don't make me try to go find your parents. You're over 12. These kids are 6, 7, 8 years old, and a couple of them is a little smaller. They don't need to hear this language. And when I mentioned his parents, he just went into this demonic laugh. I mean, it freaked me out for a split second. And I said, you're over 12. And, I'll talk to you about it if you want to sit down and talk about Jesus. But in the meantime, we're going to rebuke and pray these demons out of you. And let me tell you, he don't come to the playground anymore to harass the kids. But I do have a little girl that's 8 years old that comes to the car. I sit in the car and watch Ethan and all of them. That is wanting to learn about Jesus. And she comes and asks me something every day. The most interesting thing, she said, why is it on everything on YouTube when they say if you love Jesus to click yes, he's a white Jesus? And I said, I know. Every little culture, there's a white Jesus with brown hair and brown eyes. There's a white Jesus with almost blondish hair and blue eyes. There's a black Jesus. There's a Hispanic Jesus. There's all kinds of Jesuses. So then I was trying to explain to her about the Middle East. And then, of course, she wanted to know what the Middle East looked like. And I pulled up some pictures of Middle Eastern people. And she said, what are they mixed with? Is that black and white? What's it mixed? And I said, well, honey, people aren't always mixed. I said, and there happened to be several examples on the playground. And I said, well, look at Ethan. He's got an olive colored skin. His daddy's American. His mommy's Guatemalan. And that little boy's Chinese. And it don't mean they have to be, a mixed race, So, but at least she's asking questions. That's what's important. That's what's important. Okay, our 10 minutes is about up. And in my little, while I'm waiting on y'all to come in, I give my little, hello, how are you? If you're new, welcome. Little commercial. Did y'all see my shorts? My commercials? My shorts? Listen, old what Trucker JP has thousands of people on his TikTok. He shared it on his TikTok. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But at a point after the resurrection, there's a list that we shouldn't even take a meal with. We dust our sandals off and keep on walking. Don't mean we're supposed to be mean to them, but we keep on walking. Let me see if I can possibly, in any way, get this in any kind of cohesive order for y'all. Like I said, I started looking up some other stuff, and then I just got some. I got my scriptures in different places because I've got scriptures for things I want to say for other stuff, and so I'm a little bit. Well, where is it? That ain't it. Oh, I just clicked the wrong thing. Okay, like I said, this doesn't necessarily have to do with that pesky little agenda that's coming up in 5 years. Speaking of, before we go on, I need to put this in, and to my lovely mods that I love so much and I appreciate everything y'all do for me. If you see trigger words in chat, I have been told that, the algorithm that transcribes everything I say and what's in chat could very possibly be what is taking my live chat so many hours to load. And yes, I know that there's far more information than what I give you all in my lives, but I give you an overview. I give you a starting point to start doing more research on your own. And I know there are people in chat that know a whole lot more about this stuff than I do. Anything I've talked about. But it's a little racy. And, you know, start a channel and share that information and take your own risks. Or if you have a channel, take your own risks. But we're going to have to cut back. Back when we were warned about chat, it really wasn't that big of a deal. But AI is transcribing chat and transcribing me. So I need everybody, to follow my lead, and let's not go, where I'm not going. Because if I'm not going there, there's a reason. And the biggest reason is I got my channel back. I want to keep it, if you know what I'm saying. So not to diminish anybody else's knowledge, because I know everybody knows more than I do. Anyway, moving on to our scripture, and we're going to jump right in this. I hope Moon's ready. Moon, this is just going to give you a jumping point. Oh, you're a good girl. Listen, I wasn't talking about anybody in particular. And nobody has been completely outlandish to me, but apparently to the algos. So at least it's not taking 24 hours now. At one point, on a couple of them, it took 24 hours to get live chat loaded. So we just want to be careful. Okay. Let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, these aren't. Hang on. I swear I had this in order, and I went in and just messed it all up. I don't know what I was thinking. Let me see. I did. I just messed it all up. I've got to get a printer. Okay. Oops. No, that's not it. Well, where did I just see it? This may not go with it at all, but it's scripture that for some reason I saved. So we're just going to go with it. Well, this is what I read last week, y'all. You know, I might have listed all of those for this and then not. Oh, y'all, please excuse me. Now I've done taken another 5 minutes for that explanation and this. Okay, we're just going to start here. We're just going to start here. And I'm just going to go back to, I'm just going to pick this up real quick. Because I just want to start it. Dusty Country Roads. Hey, how are you doing? So good to see you. So good to see you. We're going to get all of our little beauties back together here eventually. And I'll be so glad. Oh my goodness, I'll be so glad. Okay, let's just do this. For as much as we have heard that certain which went out from us have troubled you with words, subserving your souls, saying, Ye must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom we have no such commandment. And that is really prudent in today's time, because we've got so many churches trying to mix law into our uh, grace, saved by grace. Law to law. So that was relevant for today's churches. So anyway, okay, here you go. Do you have your pen and paper ready, Moon? Okay. And I read this, and let me tell you, one of the reasons that I try to read most of what I say to y'all is if I can give the, which I do, I have it all, don't always give it to y'all, I try to, and then I forget where it comes from. And YT wants to argue with me and be ugly about it, I'll just say, hey, wait a minute. This is public knowledge. You can't get me on something that I read that is searchable. So anyway, that's why I try to read it. Covering all bases. That's all. Okay, that little pesky agenda that's up in 5 years was launched by the United Nations in 2015 and adopted by member states. It builds on a framework like Agenda 21 in 1992 and the Millennium Development Goals 2000 to 2015. The vision of this Agenda 21 was transforming our world by 2030, balancing economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. That was the goal. Okay. That was the overall picture. Now, there are 17 sustainable goals. This is like AOC's Bible, if I had to guess. And it all sounds good on the surface. It really does. I mean, I wish there's an easy way to do this. A lot of this, not all this, but a lot of it, like this one, end poverty in all forms. Wouldn't that be awesome? End hunger. That would be awesome, but I don't see nothing going toward that. Do y'all see anything going toward that? End hunger, achieve food security, and promote sustainable agriculture. This is all written real pretty. I've got some more definitions later for y'all. Ensure healthy lives, promote the well-being of everybody, quality education for all, gender equality, empower women and girls, water and sanitation for all, affordable clean energy, promote sustainable economic growth, full employment, build resilient infrastructure, foster innovation, reduce inequality, make cities sustainable and inclusive, ensure sustainable consumption, production patterns, climate action, conserve the oceans and marine resources, protect the ecosystems, biodiversity in forests, promote peaceful, inclusive societies, access to justice, and strengthen global partnerships for implementation. I mean, come on, y'all. What sounds bad about that? Wouldn't we all like to see all that happen for everybody? I mean, no poverty. But I do have to say that kind of sounds a little bit like um, share the wealth, everybody be equal. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Rip Curl. You're so sweet. You're gonna make me blush. We're gonna make me blush. I just went over the 17 sustainable development goals for that little pesky agenda that's supposed to be fulfilled in 5 years. That sounds so good. I mean, all their little goals sound so good. It was adopted in 2015 to replace Agenda 21. Okay, the core principles. Let me see. Wait a minute. I want to go somewhere else first and make sure. Make sure I gave you everything I wanted to give you. Oh, that's where I was putting down titles. Okay, that's not it. Now I lost where was that. Good night, y'all. I found major concerns among citizens. Yes, I do. Okay. Here's a little better background for anybody who wants a little better background. I thought this was kind of um, interesting. And for anybody new, I'm reading this, so if I get plugged on this, I've got, research that I have a better argument for it. But anyway, um, it's September 25th, 2015, by all 193 UN member states, it was adopted or given the overview, and it was adopted. The title was Transforming the World, the 20 in 5 years Agenda for Sustainable Development. And its roots was that Agenda 21 from the Earth Summit in 1992. So they started working on this in 1992. Okay. The sustainable goals, there was 17 that I just read to you. 169 targets, 230 indicators, reviewed via voluntary national reviews, which nothing's going to be voluntary, includes governments, corporations, NGOs, and civil society. The founding institution was the national budget, internal aid, PPPs, the World Bank, IMF, WEF, and the Uncle Billy Foundation. Put him last, but he's the biggest donor. Okay. Here's what troubles everybody. These are the biggest criticisms. The loss of national sovereignty. I'm too close. I'm leaning on the table, so I'm going to slide me back. Uncle Goat, yeah. The loss of national sovereignty. Citizens fear that local and national governments may cave to the authority to the international bodies like the UN and the WEF, limiting democratic control, can't even read, y'all, and overriding national laws and values. There's a lot to be found that is all possible. So I'm giving you concerns, but you need to understand that this is more the concerns. Does that make sense? Wink, wink. This is more the concerns. This is than concerns. This is what is going to happen. Okay. People are worried about forced compliance through surveillance because the digital ID system, which we talked about with Uncle Billy, smart cities we talked about, the biometric tracking, are all seen as tools for constant surveillance and control with future risks of social credit enforcement. These are just concerns. These are just concerns. None of this is part of that pesky agenda. These are just concerns. Okay? Oh my God. Global food system centralization. The promotion of sustainable agriculture is being dominated by, I can't even read, y'all, multinational corporations threatening food independence and freedom from small farmers and families. That's a concern, but they say that's not going to happen. These are just illegitimate concerns, but we're going to go over them. We're going to be fair and give the side of, who's concerned too. They're afraid that this is going to progress ideologies embedded in saving us from ourselves and are perceived as undermining traditional religious beliefs, family structures, and parental rights in education. They'd never do that. Y'all think they'd do that? I don't think these are legitimate concerns. Remember, I'm an entertainment channel. I forgot to say that in the beginning. I'm an entertainment channel. Okay, another concern is overreach of big tech and corporations. The government will keep them under control, and Uncle Billy's funneling that money in there, so they're going to do what we went over that. He's going to take care of us. We done discussed that last week. So, the corporations. So public-private partnerships give powerful corporations undue influence over global policies, often prioritizing profits over public interest. Well, shit, that's been that way forever. They think it's a possibility? Well, my God, my whole adult life raising kids. That's the way it was. I mean, this ain't the 40s, 50s, and 60s anymore. You can't go to the store and buy nothing for a dime. Are you kidding? But that's a concern. It ain't going to happen. It ain't gonna happen. Okay. There's also a big concern about the central bank digitized, and that could be used to track, control individual transactions, posing threats to financial privacy and autonomy. And I don't know, it's down here later, but while we're talking about that, it's also gonna it's a concern that it could be tied to, well, you bought too much red meat this week. You need to be eating the new stuff, and you've got too much of a carbon footprint. Okay. There are policies that are tied to these goals promote open borders. That's why that border was opened. And I'll try to get back to that when I give you something else. And refugee redistribution, raising concerns about social service strain and cultural destabilization. That's a concern. Well, heck yeah, it's a concern. Refugee redistribution. I think that's what happened the past 4 years, wasn't it? On our little spot of the globe. Okay. And the biggest is, which we all know, entertainment purposes only. This could never happen. Many Christians view that agenda, global unity and digital system, view the agenda, unity and global systems as precursors to that big system talked about in the book of Revelation, and that it also threatens religious freedom. They would never do that. Y'all think they'd really do that? Nah. They wouldn't really do that. Entertainment purposes only. I'm just going to say 100%. Just saying 100%. I'm not saying 100% what. I'm just saying 100%. Y'all are smart. I got a smart group. I got a smart group. But this, this no poverty, the proportions of populations living below the poverty line by sex and age and protection, social protection, and worried about children under 5 years of age, maternal mortality ratios. Those are the things they're concerned with the poverty. Just blows my mind, man. Okay. The biggest, who they say is really formulating this with the WEF and WHO is the SDG, and I wanted to kind of define that for you. The SDG is the Sustainable Development Goals. Those 17 goals, that was Sustainable Development Goals. And the UN, when they passed all of this, it was supposed to be ready to rock and roll, done and in place by 30. And they checked it out in 20 and it was a little behind. And they recently checked it out and it's still too much behind. And they are now in a race. They only have 5 years to have this ready to push out. And they're afraid they're not going to make it because the world as a whole and especially us, is too far behind. We were a little bit ahead with what was going on the last 4 years, and then closed in borders and getting rid of those that redistribution of refugees. Oh my gosh. They're the ones that they're saying don't worry because we just want to end poverty, hunger, achieve food security, and promote sustainable agriculture. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, I found my scriptures. Oh my gosh, I found my scriptures I wanted to read to you. And I'm not going to back up and do that now, but basically it my topic was like Romans, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that's good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. Because we're citizens of heaven. We're God's children. We're not supposed to be slaves of this world. And we're gonna suffer for it. Yeah, I found my whole page of scriptures. My word. Okay. Now, there's more than just the UN and that Sustainable Development Group that Uncle Billy put so much money in. Of course, the UN's the one that helped write it up and pushed it, and they voted on it. There's a United Nations Development Program which focuses on eradicating poverty, reducing inequality, and supporting governance and sustainable development. The United Nations Environmental Program guides climate policy. UNICEF. All my life there was commercials for UNICEF. I thought it was for sick kids. Just raising money to, make sure that doctor bills could be paid for sick kids. And it's also linked to all 17 of those goals with education and equity. But it's also tied to this agenda. And of course, we know the WHO. They're managing the global efforts, including disease prevention. Why can I not talk tonight, y'all? I can't talk. Disease prevention, healthcare systems, and emergency response. Sure ain't FEMA, is it? Then we have the FAO, which is part of the UN. They're the Food and Agriculture Organization. They support food security, sustainability, sustainable agriculture, and nutrition. Then we have UNESCO, United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization, promotes education, cultural interests, and scientific collaboration. I didn't see that nowhere in those 17 goals of that agenda. I mean, is this like a front? Then we have the International Labor Organization, advocates for labor rights, fair work conditions, and global employment standards. Global. Keyword. Global employment standards. UN Women, an entity for gender equality and empowerment for women. I don't know about y'all, but my Bible says that the woman's supposed to take a back seat. Man's supposed to be in charge. She's supposed to support him, and he's supposed to love her as he loves himself, not be abusive. But the woman's not in charge in the church, in the marriage. A woman's not even supposed to put her children, according to our Bible, before her husband. That was my big thing I did. I hadn't read that deep, and I've repented and asked God to forgive me. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. The World Bank is involved. Uncle Billy and his foundation is involved. NGOs, non governmental organizations on the ground level they're NGOs on the ground level to enforce and implement the initiatives, particularly in developing nations. And then there's supernatural governance advocates. Some political leaders and think tanks promote a vision of global governance where international law and oversight supersede national sovereignty in the name of global progress. I know you've all heard, and it goes with this. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it. Own nothing and you'll be happy about it. Okay. Since we're in America and we have leaders that sign executive orders all day, every day, and then idiots sitting in the House and the Senate that who knows what in the world they're doing. What has been printed on our president's views of this particular agenda is that he criticizes it and anything that is a global initiative, emphasizing American sovereignty and self-determination. Hence, supposedly, his America First doctrine, where he prioritizes national sovereignty over global governance. He views this as a threat to American independence and sees it as an attempt to impose international regulations on the U.S., and he is not at all interested in that. He has been critical of the UN cutting funding to several of its bodies and withdrawing from initiatives that deemed to be against the U.S. interests, such as the Paris Agreement. He did that first thing this time. The agenda, he also opposes the agenda's heavy emphasis on sustainability. Our president has opposed global climate action agreements, arguing that it damages the U.S. economy and unfairly benefits other nations. Like I showed y'all, and I mentioned a couple times now, that map where only 1% of the land of this world, 1%, is populated. How's 1% ruining the whole climate and the whole world? And the president and many of his allies that believe that, and this is stated, that agenda is part of the globalist agenda pushed by unelected elites. And I haven't ever been able to find anywhere where he is all tangled up in that WEF. By golly, Uncle Billy and Elon, they never miss a meeting. Pump money into it. Not on the boards, but they pump enough money into it. They don't have to be on the boards. They get to say what they want to anyway. And he argues that it enables surveillance, economic regulation, and the loss of freedoms under the guise of global corporation. And I think that statement is 100% correct. Now, I did not give you that information to say, woo-hoo, we got to love our president and be MAGA crazy and no, I ain't getting into the politics. That's as much as I'm getting into the politics of that. But anything and everything I could find, he was 100% against it. Against it. Let's see. Well, now I've lost. I was going to give y'all my sources. Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with anything. But that is the nuts and the bolts of it. That's exactly what is printed that you can find in print, and there's 17 goals and who backs it and what concerns are, but they assure you that it has nothing to do with these last few lives I have done for you with the AI and the smart cities and Uncle Billy, and none of that has anything to do with this agenda, according to the UN. We're wrong about that. We're being paranoid. Doesn't have anything to do with it. It's all for our benefit. But it's awfully funny that as crazy as stuff it can come out of our president's mouth, but I couldn't find anything but he's 100% against that agenda. And that is all. Susie Q, I see Miss CJ Blaze speaking to Susie Q. That is all I have on that. I thought that was that's a good overview. Without getting me in too deep of trouble. But it's a good starting point for you to do more research. You're welcome. Did that help you, Moon? Did you know any of that, or did that help at all? Did I have it too light on the diet side? Or did that help you out, honey? How you been, Susie Q? Thank you. Good. Good. That's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to give a good overview and let you know that, and exactly what you typed in a comment earlier. That's it. What they say they're not doing is exactly what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But now I did find a whole lot of stuff about they're in a panic because it's behind. It's behind schedule. Talking about behind schedule, do you all follow? It's capital A, little O, capital C Network, who does all kinds of Christian movies, puts together little professional movies about the Bible. He's done The Power of Prayer. That's the one that Ethan usually falls asleep to every night. He's done one on the done a couple on the Antichrist. He's done one on the Two Witnesses. I mean, it's good stuff. He put a post yesterday about, was there anybody else feeling like time is not what it should be? That it's just racing beyond our control. We've been talking about that for a couple of years. There's old Susie Q. Well, Lord, Susie Q's got a wrench still yet. See, I didn't mess with any of that. How you been, Susie Q? Yeah, only worse. It's going to be worse. Listen, it's been talked about just about ever since I've had a channel. And it seems like it speeds up and slows down a little bit. And then it'll speed up and then it'll slow down a little bit, but it's more speeded up than it is slowed down. I mean, can you stop and think where you were New Year's Day and it's already almost the end of May? Another rhyme. I rhymed last week. Poe and Donut make a rhyme every time. And I can tell you, yes, Susie Q, we have missed you, girl. All right, Susie Q, are you the one that's in Deep South Homestead's live chat? Or is that the other Susie Q? Are you in Deep South Homestead's live chat? You wouldn't know I was there because I don't go in under this channel. I've been working so hard to try to get control of this channel back. I don't even know if you know I went away because I lost my channel control of it. I didn't lose it. YouTube didn't. Oh, okay. Must be the other Susie Q. Somebody hijacked it, took it over. Big long story. But anyway, I have an account that I go in live chats and talk under. I didn't want anybody to even know I was live for those couple years I've been gone. Let's see. I haven't really been on YouTube until recently. I hear you think we are in trouble. Who you talking to, me or somebody else? Can't remember this morning. Well, my doctor, I was telling her I was just a step above narcolepsy. If I sat down and relaxed at all, Ethan's going, Nanny, you're falling asleep. Nanny, you're falling asleep. And on TikTok, that one pill that long, stringy head, gray haired lady, I'm not talking about her. Look at mine. I got mine up in a clip, or mine to be stringy. I was just trying to describe her to you. Talking about that moringa, is that what it is that they're selling and to fix whatever you're short in? And anyway, I was telling her my symptoms. I said, I don't fall asleep during a conversation, and as long as I'm busy, I'm good. But man, if I sat down more than 5 minutes, I'm out. I mean, you don't know the nights. Ethan don't go to sleep, and I'm watching a YouTube video. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm freezing to death, not covered up. I was talking to Susie Q. Okay. Okay. Just making sure. But yeah, I know exactly where I was this time last year. This time last year, I had a conversation with JK about our plans for the farm and about our plans for that week. How I had to, Ethan had to finish school because last year it was Friday of Memorial Day weekend. It's the 24th, but you know how the calendar moves days. And I was telling him Ethan had to finish school, and then he had a soccer practice or soccer game on Saturday. And we would finish that at 11, go stop and eat lunch. I'd be home probably around 3 o'clock, and we were moving to the farm for the summer. That's exactly where I was at this time last year. And tomorrow evening, it'll be a year that I found out that my baby went to heaven. Now, to stop and think, and to know how my heart is still cracked, and how emotional I can still get over that, and knowing that I did therapy for almost 30 years, and knowing that anything that lasts longer than 3 to 6 months can be diagnosable, I cannot believe that was a year ago. I cannot believe it was a year ago today, the last time I talked to my baby. And then when I think about specifically just him, it seems like it's been 10 years because I miss him so bad. But to legitimately just sit and think where I was this time last year, and now it's already a year later for that anniversary. Where'd the year go? Now, did that throw me for a loop? And then, Susie Q, I'm not even in West Virginia, honey. You're so far behind. My baby boy had brain trauma. He went to heaven. And Ethan's mama moved us to Roanoke, Virginia for 13 months. And now she's moved us almost to the West Coast. Me and him are getting ready to leave in a couple of weeks to go back to West Virginia for the summer. But Even that, we've been here since the last day of August, and I do not like this place at all. And don't be offended, Susie Q. I ain't told nobody where I am exactly. Um, if you have a general location, but um, or at least a state, I ain't even going into that. But um, we got here the last day of August, and Ethan finished all his little books in school early, and his teacher met me. This is going to be a heartbreaker for y'all because it sure was for me. Met me and said, Ethan's finished. He is officially a third grader. And I thought, oh, am I supposed to celebrate or cry? I don't know. Oh my gosh, Susie Q, you wouldn't believe. Oh, drop Ethan's link. Susie Q, if you want to see Mr. Ethan, well, he's on some of the videos, and let's see. Oh, well, this is last year's. This is last year's. Oh, this is this year. Well, this was in August. Look here, Susie Q, at Ethan. Can you believe that? He was 2.5, a little past 2.5 when I started my channel in June 6 years ago, and he was getting ready to turn 3. Can you believe how he has grown? They all grow up too fast. Well, I knew with mine. I knew to enjoy my grandkids because it was like I blinked and I couldn't believe my 2 babies were grown. Thank you, Miss CJ. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. Oh boy, I flew through that. I went through that. I hope I didn't miss information. I gave you who was behind it. I gave you what the goals were. I gave you what they said they weren't going to do to us. I swear I think I just must have whizzed through that. Gosh. But, and I know it was a fallacy now. I know it was a fallacy. But, maybe any of you all under 50 might not remember, but it was a big deal that after the wars, the big wars, um, everybody just fought to live the American dream. And what was the American dream? Now, this is going to be my thumbnail. I changed my thumbnail and didn't put him with that heart. That just made me want to puke. I couldn't keep that thumbnail last week, so I changed it. But all of my life growing up, this was the American dream. You had a house, a dog, kids, big old tree in the front yard, white picket fence. And most people achieved that. And then it started going down the toilet in the 80s. Speaking of, well, I haven't found out yet. Y'all are going to have to go to the posts. When I find out for sure, I'll put it in a post. Ethan's brother's 19th birthday is today. And he was supposed to have asked for Sunday off, and we were going to go have a big family birthday celebration for him. And I really just think he's real shy. The boy don't say, literally does not voice 10 words in a week's time. And I just think he didn't want that attention and be around all those people. That's just who he was made into. And I think he purposely didn't ask for the time off because her family, the majority of the family, needed to do it on Sunday. They couldn't do it this evening. It had to be on Sunday. And of course, none of them missed church on Friday night. Anyway, so supposed to be having that birthday party Sunday afternoon. I don't believe that's going to happen because I asked him if he asked for Sunday off and was it too late? And he said, well, all I can do is ask. So I don't think I don't think he wanted any part of that. So if there's no birthday Sunday, as it stands right now, I'm going to plan on a live on Sunday. I'm planning on it. And if it changes, check the posts on Sunday. That used to be community post and community whatever. Now it's just post. I don't know why they changed that. That's where I'll let you know if I'm not going live. And Susie Q, I have been really good. I started on the little channel, got a couple of pretty good lives over on the little channels where I started because I didn't actually get control back of this one officially till the 4th of this month. I don't even know what I was going to say. Anyway, my doctor's supposed to be giving me medicine to help me with all this, with my word recall and my brain fog. And she says that all of my estrogen, testosterone, everything is probably out of whack. And whatever that one thing that woman talks about on TikTok, she said absolutely that was probably way out of control. And that's probably why I fight to lose weight and sleepy and all that stuff. But anyway, I started on that little channel, getting ready for this channel, but there's pretty good stuff over there. But my topic, I've been scrolling TikTok more lately, and then one of my favorite TikTokers, Bennett Peach, she is so funny. She does that Gen X stuff. Well, and then I found a girl that's kind of making fun of my group, which was the parents of the Gen X. Where do they think we learned how to be parents? From the people that were born in the 40s. And I heard one girl say something about, you felt like you were on your bicycle running your shin through a cheese grater with those metal spiked pedals on your bicycle. Well, it's been that way forever. That didn't change until way up in the 80s, maybe early 90s. And that was when bicycle races got popular. That's the only pedals that was on it. But anyway, they like to kind of badmouth our generation, the way they were raised. I'm gonna do a thing on that Sunday. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna make it funny. Talk about her mama took her flip flop off and whooped her hind end. Flip flop, I'd have been happy for a flip flop. It was whatever was available. A hairbrush, now spatulas that you flip your eggs and stuff with. In West Virginia back in the day, they called them flitter turners. Not fritter turners, flitter turners. Whatever was available is what we got our butt busted. I was a good kid. I didn't like to get my butt busted. The hairbrush was the last thing I got a whipping with, and I didn't want no more whippings. But anyway, they like to talk about we screwed them up and made them so hard, and like we don't know nothing about the music they listen to. Listen, we were in our 20s dancing to that crap when they were still in diapers. I mean, so anyway, I can't stand it. I'm gonna have to do something on that generation, just to be fun. I'm kind of tired. I need a break from the heavy stuff. I don't even know. Alyssa, how are you? You got spatulas? I used wooden spoons. Carried one in my back pocket or in my purse. Yeah, we all got one when we deserved one. They all act like they got a whipping at all. They should have had free reign of their minds in this snowflake generation. Whoo! Lord have mercy, y'all. This generation of Ethans that shouldn't have anything said to them, shouldn't have any rules. You got to worry about their feelings. Oh my God. Now, I'm not saying be rude and hateful and ugly. Here's an example. I'll give you a real life example. I told you I go down to the car and sit at that little park because the other kids are hoodlums and none of the parents are there. Their mouth and cussing is atrocious. But anyway, he come walking to the car and this little boy was running ahead of him and I could see the look on Ethan's face that something was wrong. And the little boy was spitting it out about, trying to hurry and beat Ethan to it. And he said, Nanny, I broke a window. Well, I was so shocked because that boy don't do nothing wrong. I can't even remember the last time he was in timeout. He's around adults all the time. He acts like a little adult, talks like a little adult. And of course, he's still a little kid, wants to do little kid stuff. And I said, and he had tears, big old tears welling up in his eyes. And I don't know what in the world he thought I was going to say or do to him. But I mean, he just had a meltdown. And I said, well, honey, how'd you do that? I mean, it just shocked me so bad. Oh, my Lord. And we're collecting little pine cones because years ago, my Ethan's papa's sister worked with a woman that collected pine cones and she spray painted them gold and put a little pine with some little berries and a little gold string on them and you could use them. You could put them in your garland around your doors if you're decorating for Christmas or in your wreath or whatever. And we just have a multitude of pine cones around us. Somebody recently told me they were scared I would get offended if they actually said listen, I can't see the CASIN. I'm not sure I know what that is. Spell it out for me. I don't care. I mean, just one ain't gonna hurt nothing. I'm talking about we were getting some big paragraphs. So anyway, I said, honey, I said, it's all right. There's not a boy in the world, well, from where I come from, that hasn't broken a window. So I'm curious, how did you break a window? It was on the back side of the apartment. And he said, well, I was trying to throw a rock and get this pine cone. I could see this real pretty pine cone I wanted. He said, and it just went right into that window. Well, Nanny had to take some time and educate him on trajectory. He's 8 years old, getting ready to be 9 in September. He wasn't thinking about have my back to anything that could break and try to throw. I mean, that just comes with experience and age and being taught. So, I got him all calmed down and I said, well, we'll report it tomorrow. And if the people in the apartment come home, we'll go let them know. And he said, report it to who? And I said, well, honey, the office. I said, because, we'll have to pay for that. And I called for him to come back. I called his papa and told his papa how upset he was, just had a meltdown over the whole thing. And I said, hang on, I'm going to get him over here and you talk to him. And as he was coming, I said, honey, papa's wanting to talk to you. He said, don't tell him I broke a window. I said, well, honey, I already have. That's what he wants to talk to you about. Tears welled up again. You thought that boy had been beating his life. I don't know what's being said to him on little rides when I'm not with him, but something. But anyway, his papa told him, he said, boy, you wouldn't be from West Virginia if you hadn't broke out a window in your lifetime. And he said, as a matter of fact, your daddy and Uncle J.K. broke out plenty of windows. Your Uncle J.K. broke out 3 in 1 week. And the first day he got his first BB gun, he thought he had unloaded all the BBs and he didn't, and come in the house, which he was told you don't ever raise that thing and shoot it toward anybody in the house. He always threw the rules out the window. And he pulled that BB gun up and he shot the glass out of my patio door. So his papa was telling him stories to make him laugh. And blessed Pike came home and his mommy said, well, they won't know who did it if you don't tell. Don't tell. I said, that's not the lesson I'm trying to teach this child. So that you never know when people's going to be in that office. So we just called this morning and I told her, who it was. And I said, my grandson needs to talk to you and tell you something. If you would indulge me on this for just a couple of minutes, let him talk to you. And he got on there and said, hi, my name's Ethan and I live in an apartment. He gave her the apartment and he said, I just wanted to let you know that I broke a window by accident last night. I threw a rock trying to get this really pretty pine cone I wanted. And I wanted you to know I'm really, really sorry. And my nanny says we'll pay to fix the window. And the woman was so nice and thanked him. But most everybody else that would have a child that age, well, let's not upset them. Let's not upset them. Oh, we got tears in his eyes. We can't upset them. No. Hell no. You got to teach them life lessons. I mean, they don't learn. You don't start teaching a child when they're in puberty how to grow up and be a man. It's from the minute they start understanding what's going on. And then come to find out, and I finally told her, I said, well, I think one of the other parents knows. She should. Her back patio door is right there, and she made her little boy come in, go in for a little while. And I went down there with a broom and a dustpan to, get the glass up so a kid wouldn't step in it or fall or, even though it was close to the building, you never know. And I wanted to get the glass up. And, she could have seen that. That is who I talked to in the office. So that mama that knew that glass was broken and who did it was the woman that answered the phone in the office. She didn't tell me that on the phone. I saw somebody later from the office. I said, you're not happen to be the one that I called this morning, talked to about the broken window. And she says, as a matter of fact, I am. And I said, well, I wanted to thank you for being so nice to Ethan. I'm trying to teach him good life lessons. And she said, well, I thanked you this morning for that because not enough parents do. She says, as a matter of fact, and named the little boy, I'm his mom. I said, Ethan just loves him. So if I hadn't reported it, she would have known who did it anyway. And nobody else here thought that that was important to teach him. Now, we've made 3 trips to that apartment for him to say, I'm sorry, it was an accident. I was just trying to get a pine cone. I didn't know, but I know now. And my papa and nanny's going to pay to fix your window. But I just wanted you to know I was sorry and it was an accident. I think that's the last little step that he needs to do. Can't catch him at home to do it. What? This social media experiment has been a lot of fun. Somebody recently told me they were scared I would get, I don't know what that word is. Listen, people, I have been corrected by other adults in Roanoke, Virginia, and then over here in this hellhole. Oh, be careful who you say something like that in front of. You might offend somebody. If it's the truth, I might offend somebody with the truth. Well, maybe that's what's wrong with half this country. They need to be offended with some good old truth. They need me to yank out my wooden spoon and bust their hind ends and tell them, grow up. Grow up. You're offended? What in the world? God almighty. I don't know. It just kills me, y'all. Did everybody stop talking or is my chat locked up? Gosh, has it been? Yeah, it's over an hour. Okay. It's time difference. But anyway, Susie Q, we're live. Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Friday night, 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And like I said, I'm planning on Sunday afternoon, but if that birthday party does take place, I'll go to that because Ethan won't want to be 2 or 3 hours away from me. So, oh, let me turn my sound down. I did learn that. That Kay and Trey. Do y'all watch Kay and Trey? Their little shorts. I can't believe she's pregnant again. Because she's got a half-grown daughter. Oh, yeah. The Bubba News is I live and breathe. Listen, I am so glad to see you. I have been in your lives, tagging you, or your premieres, or whatever you do, tagging you to the point that I had done thrown my hands up and said, well, he's mad at me or something. I just won't bother him no more. So you don't know how happy that makes me. And it makes me very happy to see you. Where did you come in at? My goodness. Listen, been getting pretty racy. Just got this channel back May the 4th. Bye-bye. It's been a fight and a half. It's causing PTSD. Well, you know, you're putting out some pretty heavy stuff over what's going on. Hey, I did a thing a few weeks back on the Zionists, the difference between the Jewish community and the Zionists, and how Israel became a nation in 1948. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I've been a little racy. Oh, thank you, CJ. I see where you put West Virginia. Listen, if you all are not, start to say prescribed, subscribed to WV Prepared Mind 2, please. CJ dropped the link. Go over there. I was over there doing lives for 2 months before I actually got access to this channel back. So if anything crazy else would ever happen, yeah, I'm just surprised as I'll get out. The last live that I came over and watched of yours. Great to see you, Sunshine. Oh, you did? Oh, no way. I'm sorry. I tagged you 3 times. Now, I didn't do it right together, but I tagged you 3 times, so it was highlighted at Bubba News saying, hey, it's me. I'm here. Of course, it was WV Prepare Mind with a 2 behind it, but it was still my bridge and everything. And that was like, I don't know, 3rd or 4th time I had done it. And I thought, oh, he don't want nothing more to do with me. Which, now, I came to that conclusion, not to be personal, David, but because there's a couple of channels that I thought were my friends back in the day that I helped grow, that before I lost my channel wouldn't have anything to do with me. So, would not. So, anyway, maybe you just didn't see it because, listen, I go back and I watch live chat and it's amazing to me. There's always a couple of really important comments that I wish I hadn't missed. But yeah, I just tagged you all day long. Look at you, modded. I've got more mods than I have people that come in. It must be a busy night because last week we had 20. So, yeah, I always try to tag. So I don't know what happened, but I think everybody here is subscribed to CJ Blaze. If you're not, CJ, well, now YouTube put it back to the way it was. You can click on Bubba and go to his channel and subscribe. You can click on CJ and go to her channel and subscribe. She's got a channel. We put Shannon's in there. We need to drop that link one more time. There's a little gal, Shannon, that we've been dropping her link. And Pro Carry Trucker. God love his heart. 5 years. He has been trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And we've been dropping his link pretty regular. And then Shannon. If y'all would go over and just subscribe to him to help him out. Well, there's Drop. I was watching a stupid movie and your notice rudely interrupted me. I've been live for an hour and 20 minutes. So I didn't interrupt you. Yeah, we're piece by piece, Bubba. We're getting our folks back. We had 20 of them in here last week. But see, when I got this channel back, I could not believe how many of my bells were unrung. It was unbelievable. So everybody has to check their bells. Is Orca Crew still there? Susie Q, Bubba, I don't care. Somebody drop CJ's link. I've been meaning to do that, CJ. I apologize, sweetheart. And Bubba's link. And of course, Orca Crew, he's on TikTok playing keyboard. I don't see him in here. But I think most everybody's subscribed to our little bunch. But just in case. Just in case. It's so funny on this phone how far behind. Sitting here, 2 phones right here. Yeah, it's been way too long. Well, I've been gone for over 2 years. Before I even lost really control of my channel, I wasn't doing a whole lot. And then I lost control of my channel. It's been over 2 years ago. So they went in and destroyed some of my videos and put them on premieres for 2019, 2020, 2022, 2023. And there's nothing there. They premiered 20 of my, from the thumbnails. I could remember, believe it or not, what those were about. And those were 20 of my, not the biggest, but at the end, 20 of the biggest videos. They just erased and made them empty premieres. But I'm going to wait till, like I said, I'm not in West Virginia anymore, Bubba. And me and Ethan are getting ready to go in a couple of weeks back to West Virginia. And I left my laptop. I only had a little space on a truck that I was allowed. And I didn't bring my truck because it's having some issues. And what I could fit in a Nissan Rogue is all I could bring cross country of mine and Ethan's stuff. And I just never thought about the tablet, my laptop. But Bubba, have you checked out Homegrown lately? I bet you have. Have you checked out Homegrown USA lately? Don't tell me you haven't, because I wouldn't believe it. Have you checked them out? Oh, listen, CJ is the link dropping queen. She can drop links faster than 4 other mods put together working on a separate link. She can have, if we wanted 5 links dropped and you had 5 mods working on it, CJ would have all 5 of those links dropped before any one of us. I was trying to drop my own link the other night and she had it dropped before I even got to my channel. I knew you were hanging low. Now I lost control of my channel. Did you see that picture of Ethan? Oh, Ethan has his own, well, it's my channel with a lot of his stuff on, and comments had to be turned off. Look at that boy. That was on our way out here. Look, these little cowboy boots. Um, oh, good. I'm glad he did. I was up all by myself celebrating, putting timestamps on screenshots, sending him as he got over 100,000 subscribers. I'm so happy for him. I didn't have anybody to celebrate with. Not even him. He was asleep. Oh, and he thought he didn't have a screenshot of his 100,000, and then he finally called me because the text didn't go. I don't have good cell service here, and now he's got 108,000. He's got eight more thousand in a week. I'm so excited for him. I am. I'm just thrilled to death for him. Putting out those Bibles, buddy, those books of the Bible. It takes him about a week to get the spacing right and let the screen scroll, and he drops it to members on Sunday, and then it goes public on Tuesday night or Wednesday. But by Wednesday it goes public. So every Wednesday there's a new book of the Bible. So he needs to be blessed. Love his heart. So, well, does anybody have anything to say to me? Let me get back on here. If not, can you believe that? How big he is? I'm so glad I have these YouTube videos. Him sitting in the back seat of the truck, little bitty thing. Oh, yes, he went over. Let me see. I've got my screenshots. My God, I didn't have anybody to be excited with me. I was just about to die. Let's see. When I checked it, at 9:02 a.m. my time, it would have been 12:02 Eastern Standard Time. He was at 100,000 subscribers May the 16th. And now he has 108,000, over 108,000, I'm sure. But yeah, this is the little screenshot I sent him. And he was so glad because nobody else had got a screenshot for him. I was just thrilled to death. So, what's Susie Q talking about? She's not talking about the cakes, is she? I hope not. That was supposed to be funny. Oh no, she wasn't. I should have read before I opened my mouth. What's mind blowing? Secret Agent Blaze. Yeah, that's it. What's mind blowing, Moon? How good Homegrown's doing? Yeah, he said it. He'd get a little bit over 12,000 and nothing. Of course, he wasn't doing anything. That he was to 15,000, and that channel sat there for 3 years, and he started losing. And then he started putting shorts out on TikTok and YouTube, and I think he was about 12,500. And that was, I don't know, when did he start? I think he really started hitting it hard on the shorts on TikTok and YouTube, maybe December. And then he started with the Bibles, January or February. God's blessed him. You know he's doing the right thing because God's blessed him. Yes, he is. And the views are awesome. Yeah, Homegrown USA's channel. Yeah, he's reading the books of the Bible. He's only done Proverbs in the Old Testament, and I'm pretty sure that's the only one he is going to do in the Old Testament. But most of them he has done King James Version and Amplified. I think he's about finished with doing. He's not going to do both books on what's left. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see here. He has done King James Version of Colossians. That just hit public view on Wednesday. He's done the book of Revelation in the Amplified Version. I don't think he's going to do that King James. First and Second Corinthians in King James, the book of Galatians in Amplified, the book of Philippians in King James, the book of James in King James, Proverbs in King James and Amplified, Galatians King James, Matthew King James, Hebrews King James, Hebrews Amplified, Acts King James, Book of Matthew in Amplified, Book of Ephesians King James, Book of Ephesians. Now these are just how they've downloaded. They're not in order like they should be. Book of Ephesians Amplified, Book of Romans King James and Amplified, the Gospel of John King James and Amplified, and that's it for right now. And they're still coming, but he'll get them finished soon, and then we hope new things are going to happen. So I'm thrilled to death for him. I'm not old enough to be pretty close to old enough being his mama, but I know his mama's awful proud. I don't know. There's probably a tie right there about how proud. See, there's a lot of things that homegrown and my son JK that passed away had in common. Have in common or had in common. And he's just near and dear to my heart, like a child to me. I just love him to death. So that's like CJ. She's one of my kids. Her and my sister's the only girls I had. All right, y'all. We're at the minute and is that 22? 32 mark. Listen, I went to the eye doctor last year and got notification. I had a week and a half to pack up a house in Roanoke, get my extra stuff back to West Virginia, and then get packed up and loaded and hit the road here. So even though I had been I don't think I ever finished that story in any of the lives I ever mentioned it. I went to the eye doctor. I didn't get to order my glasses. Well, I have to pay for my glasses anyway. And yeah, it's probably going to be about 10 months since I had the appointment. I don't care. Anything's newer than what these suckers are. And these are very old. When I lost during that Arctic blast 3 winters ago, and I lost my silver frame glasses, those were my newest lenses. Well, these are 5 years older than those. So I'm just about blind, y'all. Let me see if you say anything. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna let you go. Bubba, it's good to see you, honey. It's good to see everybody. It's always good to see everybody. And I'll let you know, check the community post on my channel to double check. As long as there's not going to be that birthday party Sunday, I will be live on Sunday making fun of the Gen Xers because I'm from the generation that raised 2 of those Gen Xers. So we're gonna make some fun of Gen X. So don't be offended if you're a Gen Xer, which I know some of y'all are. It's gonna be all in fun, And I'm going to have to watch a bunch of them, take some notes to get them on some of the stuff they say. But, Bubba, if you wouldn't care to share one of my videos, this is not my best one. This is not by any means. I think my satire went on Uncle Billy and how much he loves us Gates last week. That'd be a pretty good one. If you wouldn't care just to drop the link, I'm not looking for subscribers. I'm looking to find my subscribers because we're missing so many. I mean, when I finally, faded off, we'd have 80 to 100 people in chat, which was fine with me. I didn't care I was happy with what I was doing, but their bell's been unrung and they don't know I'm back. And little by little, these shorts I'm putting out, I think, is helping. I call them commercials. My little commercials. And Tracker, I don't know what happened to Tracker. I was texting with him right before I went live. He shared, I forget how many. If he's got 15,000 followers over there on TikTok or how many he's got. He says I don't have something set right, so he can't share it right. So he just recorded it with his phone and uploaded it to, because you never know who's on TikTok might see. But there's too many people that are our little group that don't know I'm back. And I just want my little group back. That's all. So if you don't care to do that, Bubba, I would appreciate it. If you could let some folks know. Because you have, well, I had right out about the same amount of subscribers that you have when I went away. And then, of course, they just dropped off. If you're not active, they just drop off. So I probably lost somewhere between 300 and 400, off that count. But that count don't matter. That's not your club, your people that comes to watch you. I'm just looking for my lovelies. It's like Susie Q. She just found us. You just found us. Every week we pick up somebody else, and it just thrills me to death. So I'll keep doing these little commercials myself. Ethan wanted to be in the one this evening with me. I should have done it a couple days earlier. I did it for TikTok Wednesday, I think. And I didn't even realize till today I hadn't done it for here. And I didn't do a video and upload it. I just went live on TikTok to do it. So I didn't have, video, and I was a little late getting it out. But anyway, that's enough of that. I love y'all. I do. It's good to see everybody. Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I will be live on Sunday. If not, be sure and check the posts around 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, so you'll know if that birthday is taking place and I'm not going to be live. And if not, we'll do the Gen Xers on Friday night unless somebody emails me, and the only email I'm using is wvpm2@protonmail.com. It's like this week we did this topic because Moonface 5 asked for it. So if there's something that you want me to go over, just let me know. And I love y'all. Remember, don't be scared. Just be prepared. Jesus has us. Jesus has us. He never promised every day would be joyful. He never promised that we would not go through tribulations every day. There's no promise of that anywhere in the Bible. We're going to have trouble. So this little agenda, don't worry about it. I'll get my thumbnail up, make sure it's on public when I close this down and get everything squared away. But I love y'all. I do. I'm so glad for the people that are finding us and coming back. So anyway, remember, don't be scared. Just be prepared with Jesus in your heart, the fruits of the Spirit. That's what we need. And anyway, y'all have a great weekend. You might be too busy Sunday. Let me know if, put me a comment below if this is Memorial Day weekend. If Sunday people are picnicking, and Sunday with it being the day before Memorial Day, if this is not a good weekend, Y'all put in the comments below, would you please? I would appreciate it. And I'll just put it off till Friday, which will be okay. But there's a chance I might not be able to do it Sunday anyhow. So anyway, but let me know how you vote because I go by y'all's vote. So until Sunday or next Friday, Sunday 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or Friday 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not sure which at this point. I love y'all and I'll see you then. Take care. God bless. Say your prayers. Read your Bible. And so we can all be together in glory someday. Love y'all. Bye bye.